Hey everybody, Alex Kazor from SteelersDepot.com doing our usual wrap up initial analysis of the Steelers' 27-20 win over the Buffalo Bills just a couple hours ago. If you're seeing this now either through the live stream or tonight on our Facebook page, or if you're a follower SteelersDepot.com, you'll see it tomorrow morning. So be sure to like our Facebook page, Steelers Depot, of course, to see some of the videos like this. Be the first ones to see it. So anyway, with that out of the way, and hopefully the audio is okay. I keep messing with stuff even more, but to the game itself and to the important things, and it's pretty close on paper in the final score, 27-20 victory. Bills had the chance with the onside kick late in the game to potentially do something with it, but statistically the Steelers did dominate throughout, and I think from start to finish they played pretty well overall. It was, of course, just really the turnover issues. They lost the turnover battle, what I think 3-1. Ben got picked 3 times, and Steelers only forced one of their own, which came at a big time right after a Roethlisberger interception. But that was what kept it close, and that's pretty obvious to anyone who even casually watched the game, and not a whole lot of investigation for how that game ended up being closer. But just winning in the trenches. We've talked about that for several weeks now. O-line versus D-line, pass rush versus pass protection. Steelers been winning, all of those on this 4-game win streak now, and that's the story of today, and maybe to the most extreme that it's been along this win streak. So obviously what Le'Veon Bell did was insane, and as Tomlin and the teammates and the other people have pointed out, the credit goes to everyone, from Ben putting him in the right calls, checking out his stuff, checking in the stuff, to the offensive line doing a tremendous job, to Rosie Nix, to the tight ends, to the game plan in general from Todd Haley. That's as good as it can be. There's just basically zero room for complaints. BJ Finney, hats off to him. He's going to be a starter in this league. He's going to replace Ramon Foster one day. Foster's going to keep his job when he gets back, hopefully next week for Cincinnati. But Finney's been phenomenal. I think there's enough of a sample size there to say that, yeah, this kid's legit. And the one thing Finney does give you that Foster really doesn't is the ability to run that counter where they're pulling the backside guard. Now you can run it to the right. Where you're pulling Finney from the backside left or right. So a surprising amount of athleticism from him. But remember, Finney played a little bit of tackle before in his career. Actually played, I think, the second half of the bowl game his senior year at Kansas State at right tackle because of injuries. So, he's got some athleticism. He doesn't look like much. He looks like just kind of the hefty kind of throwback kind of guy, but he can move a little bit. And so Finney had a really good game. But it was everybody. It was Villanueva. It was Bounty, of course, to Castro, Gilbert. You got the hats off to all of them. Chris Hubbard is a tackle eligible. What Jesse James and guys like that did, blocking up front as well. And Bell is just another animal, just the ability to keep plays alive and create yards. I don't think there's a back in the league that creates better than Le'Veon Bell. There's some that are faster and more explosive and can get downhill quicker and are even more powerful. But there's no one that's just able to turn a 2 yard loss into an 8 yard gain, and or a 2 yard gain into a 15 yard run, whatever the case is. And he even had a couple of big runs today, a 24 yard run, which is so rare. The third time it's been a 20 yard run in Pittsburgh all season long. So they were last coming into today, which is so weird when you have the best back in the game and you're last in that category. But blocking was fantastic all around. And that on the 20+ yard run, Kobe Hamilton had a really nice block. And I think some of what creates those good runs into those 20+ yarders are some downfield blocking by receivers. I don't think it's been the only problem for Pittsburgh, but I think it's been a little bit of a one. And you saw Hamilton have a good block on the corner, a good stock block, and created that opportunity. So can't say enough about the ability to run the football, especially on a day where passing the football was tough, both in weather and in result. Of course, Ben Roethlisberger with 3 interceptions, and just not a lot of success overall passing the football. Ben talked about it after the game. He said the first two were basically communication issues. He really put the first one on mostly communication. Ben kind of, or he did take credit, blame for the second interception, saying he should have taken a timeout. The personnel wasn't in, tried to rush the play, said he should have waited to throw the football, threw it a little too early. In the third one, and that surprised me the most, he actually said that he would have thrown that same football again, the pick in the end zone when he was trying to go to Jesse James off play action. said 10 out of 10 times I'd throw that football again. He said the linebacker made an incredible play on it. So I was a little surprised in here. I thought the ball could have had a little bit more lead on it for James, but the linebacker did definitely make a great leaping interception. So, three interceptions, no touchdowns for Big Ben. Tough day overall. Did have the big, nice steep ball to AB for 40 yards. That was the highlight of the day for Ben Roethlisberger, and just keeping some plays alive and throwing the football and checking it down and converting some third downs. Steelers did a decent job on third down today, 6 of 14 overall. I think they did a nice job there. Defensively, this is the hats off because I picked Buffalo to win this game, so I'll egg on my face for this. I thought Buffalo's rushing attack would give Steelers a lot of problems, and big hat off to Keith Butler for the game plan. Steelers did not look confused; they did not look underprepared for all the kind of different wrinkles the Bills are going to bring. Some of their false keys with the guards, some of their option offense, just all the general misdirection the Bills' offense is going to give you, which makes their rushing attack, which already has great personnel, the offensive line, the running back, a scrambling quarterback, even better, and why they're top three rushing attack in the league. And to hold LaShawn McCoy to 27 yards on the ground, to hold the Bills to I forget what the total is, 70 some yards rushing, and a lot of that came off the end of the half. A lot of the two runs at the end of the half that went for I think 22 and 12 yards or whatever the numbers were. So in essence, you really held the Bills in actual meaningful time to probably about 40 or 50 yards rushing, which might be their lowest of the year. I'd have to go back and look at that. But you kept Tyrod Taylor in the pocket. The contain was nice. The hustle was there. Um, people ask me why are the Steelers getting more sacks, and there's a lot of reasons for it. Guys are winning matchups. Keith Butler's being more aggressive, things of that nature. But I think a big reason for that is the rush lane integrity is a whole lot better than where it was at the early and kind of mid season stages of this year, where guys are keeping contained, where they're not allowing escape lanes, and they're kind of creating that fence that the quarterback can't break, and there's hustle to the football as well. So that's something I'm definitely going to look at this week. I've been meaning to write about it the last couple of weeks, but I was waiting for maybe a more athletic quarterback who would be more of a threat than, say, Eli Manning or Scott Tolzien. But just in general, the rush lane integrity it's been tremendous, and it's creating those opportunities. There weren't a lot of escape lanes for Tyrod Taylor. The coverage did a nice job of being able to plaster and keep with the play, and the Steelers did a great job of chasing after the football. See the physicality, the intensity, the aggression, the confidence is all back in full swing. And it started with that Browns game where even though, yes, it's the Browns, it's a good launching point to make yourself feel good for a day in that game. You get that big win over the Browns with all the pressure they got, and you just feed off of it. And it serves as the catalyst for the rest of the way. And you just see that. You see some of those plays by Tyrod Taylor. Even the times where Taylor was trying to make plays, the one I think it was in the second half where he cut away from 4 or 5 different guys. But finally, I think it was Dupree that got him down. You got all these hats rallying to the football. Same with the rush defense. There were a couple of times when McCoy was able to make the first guy miss, or he's able to bounce to run, or something to that like that, or break a tackle. And you got 5, 6 guys all running to the football to stop LaShawn McCoy. So run defense is truly an 11-man job, especially against these potent attacks that give you a lot of variety as well. Everybody has to be a factor, and then I thought everybody was today. So hats off to them. LT Walton, if you want to single out one guy who maybe surprised you a little bit, got the start. Seemed very detail oriented, well hold up against the run with that effort to the football, which I've seen before. You saw it in training camp. I remember there was an end around. I think it was an end around to Darius Hayward-Bay, reversed the DHB in training camp, and there's LT Walton coming across the field and running not step for step, but he had the angle on DHB and basically ran him out of bounds because he has the IQ and the hustle to the football, and that really endears himself to John Mitchell, I'm sure, and probably a big reason why he got to start over Ricardo Matthews. But it was everybody today to it. Shazier had a fantastic game, just a dominant first half. Didn't even need him in the second half. It felt like defense was hardly on the field. Whether it's Dupree with 2 sacks today with his hustle and effort, Sean Davis getting a sack and a half with some of the storm fire zones that Keith Butler's going to run. It was good all around. So hats off to them as well. It was just old school football, time of possession, third quarter at a halftime. Steelers controlled the ball for over 10.5 minutes of the third quarter. They're just able to impose their will. They did it to the Giants late last week. They did it to the Bills all game long. It's hard to complain about much today. Again, the turnovers are unfortunate. That is the reason why the Bills are able to stick around and keep this thing closer than what it should have been, could have been. But other than that, it's hard to complain. The Bills were a good team, and the Steelers made them look bad, and that's a testament. And to do it on the road, where the Steelers have not had a high degree of success this year, is even all the more impressive in the bad weather and kind of the kooky stuff like the second half delay with the pellets and whatever was going on with that situation. So Steelers are in a good spot right now. Again, this is being recorded Sunday evening, so we still have the Ravens game Monday night tonight, depending on when you're listening, against the Patriots. If the Ravens lose, Steelers will be sole owners of first place and literally control their own destiny the rest of the way. If they can beat the Ravens on Christmas Day, that could very well give them the AFC North title. We'll see what happens. Still a ways to go. Got a tough Bengals team who, although they're not playing great, it's always going to be difficult to play Cincinnati. So nothing for granted the rest of the way. But it's a it's a good situation to be in. A stark contrast to what we were talking about a month ago when Mike Tomlin gets a career win 100. So big congratulations to him. Not a lot of coaches have done it. Not a lot of coaches are afforded that opportunity. But Tomlin, by and large, is not giving himself a reason to be moved on from. No losing seasons. That'll continue for this year as well as the Steelers achieve 8 wins on the year. So just a really well-rounded game. The passing game, will hopefully bounce back against the Bengals. I think again the weather had a factor to some degree at least today, but you're gonna trust Ben comes back. If Ben had a bad game, that's the one guy you figure is gonna be able to bounce back. So just an old school kind of win and a win in general. Which if you take it however you can get it, I stop being concerned with style points and stuff like that. Yeah, you look at things that have to be worked on, but I'm just happy with victories, with how kind of flighty this team's been sometimes. Just happy to get the win, and we'll cover this game. A lot to talk about, and then we'll get you ready for the Bengals game this weekend. So it'll be a lot of fun. Be sure to stick with myself and Dave Bryan and Matthew Marks, our whole cast and crew over here at SteelersDepot.com. Be sure again to like us on Facebook, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the Bills game. Things they did well, things they can improve on. Your outlook for the rest of the season. Can the Steelers win the AFC North, or will they? What do you think? And what seed in the playoffs could they get? The third seed is still in play right now, which is a lot better than again things we're looking at a month ago. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. We will talk to you soon, and enjoy the rest of the week.